and I also hope you had an amazing day. All right, so we're going to start with our lesson for today, right? So it's going to be grade 1 English plural nouns. And before we start, you're going to click on the aplusclasses.ca, aplusstudents.ca. Once we click on aplusstudents.ca, we're going to log in with our username as well as our password. All right, so once we've clicked in with our username as well as our password, we are going to select the subject of language arts and then grade 1. All right, so in our previous lessons, we did nouns. So in today's lesson, we're going to continue, but we're doing plural nouns, right? So we're going to click on the chapter of plural nouns, plural nouns. All right, so once you've clicked on the chapter of plural nouns, the lessons for today is regular plurals, where we are going to select the word that matches the correct picture. We're going to form regular plurals with S and ES. We're going to also use singular and plural nouns. And then we end of our lesson with irregular plurals, where we select the word that matches the picture. All right, so within the chapter of plural nouns, the first lesson we're going to do is regular plurals, where we're going to select the word that matches the picture. All right, so before we go to the different, like the pictures, right, that we see in front of us, we're first going to start with an explanation of plural nouns, right, or nouns. All right, so a noun, it names a person, it names an animal, names a place or thing, right? So that's a noun. It names a person, animal, place, or thing. And when it comes to plural nouns, right, then it means that we add an S or ES to most of our nouns to show that there is more than one person, animal, place, or thing, right? So a noun, it names a person. It can be an actual, you can actually name the person specifically, or you can just say girl, you can say boy, right? Animal, place, or thing. But once you add an S, for example, to girl, right? So we add S to girl, so now it's girls, right? Then it shows that there is more than one girl, right? That is just an example. So once we add either an S or we add an ES to most nouns, then it shows that there is more than one person, animal, place, or thing that we are actually talking about or making mention of. And if we look at the pictures here in front of us, first the apple, right? If you look at the very first apple, there's only one apple, right? So one apple, right? So it means only one apple. However, if we look at the next one, there's two apples. So there's two apples, right? Which means that we added an S to the word apple, right? To show that there is more than one apple. There's one apple. There's two apples. And we added an S to show that there is more than one, right? The same with if we look at the next example, which is the bus, right? Remember we said we either add an S or we add an ES to make or to show that there is more than one person, animal, place, or thing, right? If we look at bus, here we only see one bus, right? So this is one bus. We're only making mention of one bus, right? One thing. As soon as we make mention of one, two, three, right? So now it shows that there are three buses, right? It shows that there's more than one. There's one bus, there's three buses, right? We added an ES to the word bus, buses, to show that there is more than one bus. So one bus, three buses, right? So we added an ES to the word bus to show that there is more than one bus, right? So now there's three buses, right? Same with apple. There's one apple. Here is one, two apples, and we added an S to apple to show that there is more than one. All right. All right, so a noun, it names, like we said, it names a person, names an animal, a place, or a thing, right? And if we want to show that there is more than one person, animal, place, or thing, then we either need to add an S or an ES to the noun, right? Not to all of the nouns, but to most of the nouns to basically show that there is more than one, right? We are making mention of more than one. So for now, we're just going to focus on S and ES, right? Here they have another example of the babies, but that is where we add an IES, right, to show more than one. There's one baby, there's two babies, right? So the word baby, we then drop that Y and we added IES, right, to show that there is more than one baby, right? But for today, our focus is mainly going to be on adding an S or an ES to certain nouns or to most nouns to show that there is more than one person, animal, place, or thing. All right, so if we look at the picture that we have here in front of us, right? So this is a bag. This is a bag. So just to refresh, our lesson is regular plurals, right? And plurals, right, it means anything that is more than one, right? It basically shows that there is more than one of something. So plural, it shows that there's more than one of something, right? So it's two or more. And then we also have a word called singular, right, which we are going to find out later, right? And it only shows that there's of one of that thing, right? So in this case, and I specifically mention now plural and singular, right? Because we need to get says which word matches the picture. So this is a bag, right? However, we need to say if this is basically, let's say, either a regular plural or if it's singular, right? Because how many bags do we see over here? We see one, two, three, right? So this is a bag, firstly, but there is one, two, three. So we say there's three bags. So we added an S to the word bag to show that there is more than one of that, right? So yeah, we only have one bag. So if we only have one bag, then this will be bag only. But as soon as we make mention of one, two, three, right? Then it is three bags. So we add the S to the word bag to show that there is one, right? Because we can't say three bag. It's three bags. And this shows that it is plural because there is more than one, right? It shows that there's two or more bags, right? So one bag. So one bag, three bags. And we added an S, right? All right. Okay, so here it says that the picture shows more than one, and the picture shows three bags, and there we have the word bags. All right, look at the next picture. So, what picture do we see in front of us? All right, so we see a tortoise. Just double check. A turtle, right? So we see a turtle. So we see a turtle, right? And how many turtle do you see? So we see a turtle, right? But now how many turtles do we see? There's one. I'm gonna write it on top of it, right? One. And here is two, right? So this is turtle number one and turtle number two. So if we add that up, so one plus one makes two. So now we have two turtles. And we added an S, right? To show that there is more than one. So they one turtle, but two turtles. And we added an S to show that there is more than one turtle within this picture. The picture shows two turtles, which shows that there is more than one turtles. All right. If we look at this condensed chicken soup, right? Okay, we're just gonna say a can, right? A can of chicken soup. So can, right? So how many cans of chicken soup do you see within this picture? So we only see one can, right? So there's only one can. And one can shows that it is singular, right? But if there was another can, then we would have said cans to show that there is two, right? But in this case, we only have one, so which means that it is one can. We do not have to add an S or an ES to that word because there's only one can. It's only one can of homemade condensed chicken soup, right? One can. CAN. We do not add an S or an ES because we are not showing that there is more than one, right? So this picture shows one can. All right, so let us test ourselves, right? We're gonna test ourselves now to see on the lesson on regular plurals, and we're going to select the word that matches the picture, right? All right, so here's one, two, three, four, five, six. Six what? Is it six car or six cars? So we need to say, or we need to select the correct word that matches the pictures. So one, two, three, four, five, six. Is it six car or six cars? So we need to choose the correct one, right? All right, so we are going to say it's six cars, right? Because cars with an S it shows that there is more than one car in that picture. So if you have that, then well done. All right, here is one, two, three. Is it three bag or three bags? So if you said cars, well done. So now three bag or three bags. So is it bag or bags where we add an S? All right, so we're going to choose bags, right? Well done. So if you also chose bags, then that is correct. So well done, right? Bags is correct. So we added an S to show that there is more than one bag. All right, so look at this. How many toys do you see in the picture? Is it toys or toy? Do we see toys in the picture or do we see toy in the picture? We need to choose the correct word that matches the picture. Toys or do we just see toy? We need to choose the correct word that matches this picture. Toys or toy. Toys or toy. All right, so if we look at this picture, then we only see one, right? So if we only see one, then we only say one toy, right? So we do not add the S. So if you say toy, then well done, because it only shows one. All right, here we have one, two, right? Is it two trucks or two truck? We need to choose the correct one. Two trucks or to truck. One, two. Is it trucks or truck? Well done, right? So trucks, because there's one, two trucks. We added an S because we can't say there's two truck. So two trucks shows plural and it shows that there is more than one truck. So if you have that, then well done. All right, so now let's go back, right, to our different lessons, and we're going to go to the next lesson, which is to form regular plurals with S and ES, right? So we in our previous lesson matched the different pictures with the correct word, right? Whether it was singular to show one or whether it was plural to show that there is more than one picture, right? Or let's say more than one noun, which refers to a person, place, animal, as well as thing, right? So now we're going to form regular plurals with S and ES, right? Okay, so once again, a noun, it names a person, animal, place, or thing. And you can add S to most nouns to show that there is more than one person, more than one animal, more than one place, or more than one thing, right? And there we have an example of apple. We have one apple. That shows only one. And here we have one, two apples. That shows that there is more than one, right? So we added an S to the word apple, right? To show that there is more than one apple. But now it also says if a noun ends in S, right? For example, like bus, or it ends in CH. We also like spell it like ch, or it ends in SH, which is like sh, or X, or Z, right? You can add an ES to show more than one, right? For example, there is one bus, and bus ends in S, right? So if we want to show that there is more than one of that, right? Like here's one, two, three, then we say buses, and then we add an es to the word buses, right? To show that there is more than one. All right, if we look at, yeah, it says if the noun ends in s, which is like bus, ch, shx, or z, right? If we look at a few examples, um, a word that ends in ch, like church, right? Church ends in ch, right? If we were to show or like indicate that there is more than one church, remember they said we add an es to show that there is more than one church. Churches, right? A word that ends in x, for example, box, right? Is one box. But if we want to make mention of more than one box, and then we can say it's boxes. Boxes. Then we have boxes, right? And we add an es. All right, so that is but a few examples, right, of words that ends in s, ch, x, or z, right? So whenever we have words like that, or that ends like with that letters, then we add an es, right, to show that there is more than one. All right, so now we are going to basically fill in the word, right? So they're going to give us a word, for example, hand plus s, for example. Then we need to write down the plural form of that word. For example, hand plus s, right? So hand, there we have the word hand plus s. It is hands, right? So now it shows that there is more than one hand, right? Hands, right? So one hand plus is show that there is now more than one hand. We are talking about shows more than one. The same with this word coat, right? We have one coat, but if we add the s to the word coats, coat, it becomes coats. Now it indicates or shows that there is more than one coat, right? So it's either showing two or more coats, right? The same with the next word, back, right? We have one back. But as soon as we add an S to the word back, right, then it shows that there is more than one back. One back, many or two or more backs. And we added an S, right, to that word backs. All right. So that is forming regular plurals with either an S or with an ES. So it's basically just adding an S or an ES to a certain word in order to change that word from, let's say, showing one to showing more than one. And we call that from singular to plural, right? All right. So we're going to do a little test based on form regular plurals with S and ES. All right, if we look at the word, fill in the word, right? Doll plus is. We need to choose the correct word from the options that we see in front of us, right? So doll plus is. Does it mean doll, dolls, dollies, or dollars or dolls? We need to choose the correct word. All right. So doll plus is, right? It means we're going to choose the second option, which is dolls, right? One doll, two or more dolls. All right, then we have the word hen, right? So one hen. As soon as we add an S to the word hen, right? So hen plus S. Is it hen? First option. Is it hens where we added an ES? Is it hens where we add an S? Or is it hennies where we added an IES? All right, so in this case, we only added an S to the word hen, right? So now it's hens. And if you have that, then well done. All right, hand. Hand plus S. Hand shows one hand plus S, right? Does it mean it is handis, which is we added an ES to the word, or just hand, or handis, which is IES, or hands, where we added an S? All right, so hand plus S shows that there is more than one hand, right? So we're going to choose the last option, right? Which indicates that there is more than one hand. We added the S to show that the word is plural. All right, so now we're going to go back, right? And that is how we form regular plurals by either adding an S or an ES, right? So they will show you the singular word, and then we either add an S or we add an ES to show that that word is more. All right, so now we're going to the next lesson where it says use singular and plural nouns, right? And we say that a noun, it names a person, an animal, a place, or a thing. The word that comes before a noun will sometimes tell us if there is one or more than, right? So it's not always going to tell us, but that is why we say sometimes, right? So sometimes there will be a certain word or specific word in front of the noun, and then that will show or indicate to us that it's either a singular, we're either talking about one thing, one person, one place, or animal, or we are talking about more than one, right? For example, words like this cat, that boy. I'm just gonna make random words, use random words. One orange, a pencil, an apple, right? So these words, right, like this, that, one, a, or an, once these words are in front of a noun, right? Or let's say one when it's sometimes in front of a noun, right? Then it only means that we are talking about one person, we're making reference or discussing one person, one animal, one place, or one thing, right? So this, because we are specifically making mention of this thing, that thing. So it's only the one thing that we are talking about, right? Example, an apple. There's the word an apple. It refers to one apple. So instead of constantly saying one to show that there's only one, you can say an apple. So we know it is one apple, right? One bus. The word one already shows that there is only one bus. That baby, right? So we're not talking about this baby over here, but we're talking about that baby. So we're only making mention of one baby. So that is words, right, that we sometimes use before a noun, and that indicates that there's only one of either one person, animal, place, or thing. Then we have words like these, those, two, and we have words like many, right? And these words are sometimes used before to show that there is more than one person, animal, place, or thing, right? And here we have an example. So here, if we, in this one, if we refer to one apple, right, then we can say an apple, right? But over here, how many apples do we have? We have one, two apples, right? So you can either say two apples, or we can say these apples. If the apples are over there, we can say those apples, or we can say many apples, right? Because it's two apples, so it can be many. Same with the buses. There's one, two, three buses. So instead of us saying three buses, we can say many buses, which means that we are talking about more than one bus, and we added an ES. Same with babies, right? The first like earlier on, we made mention of one baby and we said it is that baby, right? Or we can say this baby refers to one baby. But as soon as you refer to more than one baby, we can either say those babies or these babies, right? Or even say two, because it's one, two babies, right? So babies. And remember, we said one baby and then we have a Y. As soon as you want to write or make mention of more than one, then we then have to drop the Y. We add the IES, and now the word becomes babies. IES. No Y. So the Y was removed, right? And now we just added the IES to show that there's more than one baby, right? So it's babies. All right, so now here it says which word fits in the sentence? Which word? Okay, so I'm going to look at this word. So these what are too tall for us, right? We need to choose between the word bike, or we're going to choose between the word bikes, right? So these, these bike are too tall for us, or these bikes are too tall for us. We need to choose one word that fits within that sentence. The bike referring to one bike, or referring to more than one bike, right? A word that is used in front, or in front of the noun. These. If we use the word these, then these show that there is more, right? So we can say these bikes. And that shows that there is more than one. These bikes are too tall for us. Not bikes. And if you had that, then well done. So bikes. All right, I'm gonna choose, okay, game. Let's say we need to choose between game or games. So let's play a. Look at the word a. Do we say a game? Do we say a games? A game or a games? We need to choose the correct word that fits within that sentence, right? So if we have the word a, over here it says words like this, that, one, a, and an are sometimes used before one person, animal, place, or thing. So which means this will refer to one thing. So let's play a game, not games. A game, which refers to one game only. All right. You can take that. You can take that. We need to choose between buses or bus. Buses or bus. We need to choose between that two words, buses or bus. You can take that buses, or do we say bus, to work. That. Look at the word that. All right, here we say words like that are sometimes used before one person, animal, place, or thing, which means that bus, right? To work. So only bus, not buses. Shows singular, shows one, right? All right. So now we're going to test ourselves on using singular, which means one, and plural noun, which means more than one, right? Let's begin test. Which word fits in the sentence? Liz told me to make a wish, or Liz make wishes. So Liz told me to make a wish, or Liz told me to make a wishes. The word a in front of that noun. All right. So a, right, which means that it refers to one. So we're gonna say a wish, right? It refers to only one wish. So if you have that, then well done. Don't take this gloss away yet, or don't take this glasses away yet. So don't take this gloss away, or don't take this glasses away. So we need to choose between glass and glasses. All right, so the word this, right, refers to one, right? So we can say glass. So if you have that, then well done. I won that prize for my drawing, or I won that prizes for my drawing. Prize or prizes. All right, so we can say I won that prize, which refers to one prize that you won. So if you have that, then well done. All right, so we're going to go back and we are going to do one little activity on singular and plural. I'm going to make this a bit bigger. All right, so here it says singular and plural, right? You need to look at the picture and select the correct word for each picture, right? So there we have an apple. Okay, before we do that one, let's do this one because this one we can only tick, right? Okay. All right, yeah, it says singular and plural nouns. So singular and plural nouns. We need to make a tick, right? That indicates that it is a singular noun, and we make a cross to show that it is a plural noun. So we're going to make a tick to show it's singular and a cross to show that it is plural. So if we look at the first word, witch, how many witches do we see? Right? Because the amount of witches will show that it is either singular or it is plural. All right, so here we see only one witch, right? Which means that it is singular. So we're going to give it a tick to show it is singular. Camels. There's one, two camels, right? So which means that there is more than one camel, which means that it is plural. So we're going to make a cross or an X. Candy. Only one candy, right? Which means that it is that singular shows one or plural to show more than one. All right, so one candy. So we give it a tick to show one candy, which is singular. Snake. Snake. Does this indicate that there is only one snake or more than one snake? All right, so this shows that it's one snake. So we can tick to show it is singular, right? Singular means one. Bees. There's one, two bees. Does it mean it's singular or plural? All right, so it means it is plural. So there's more than one bee. So we're going to put an X. Pencil. How many pencils do we see? Is that singular to show one or plural to show that there is more than one pencil? There's only one pencil, which means that it is singular. So we give ourselves a tick. All right, let us quickly go to the next one, and we're only going to do the first three that we see, right? We need to look at the picture and we need to either say if it is whatever the word is, we need to write the correct word, whether it is singular or plural word, right? Like the first word, apple. Does it show one apple or more than one apples? So this is only apple, shows one apple. Then we have one, two, three, right? Cats, to show that there's more than one cat. Cats. Here we have one, two, three, four, five birds, which indicates that there is more than one bird, right? And then we will do the same with flowers, ball, one pencil, and so on and so forth, right? All right, grade ones, that is the end of our lesson on plural nouns. And we did regular plurals where we had to match the pictures with the correct word. We also formed regular plurals with S and ES. And we also were able to use singular and plural nouns. And we did an activity on singular and plural nouns, right? Thank you very much for joining our class. and for interacting with our lesson. I really hope that you enjoyed the lesson and you should have an amazing evening further. Goodbye.